I've been so looking forward to talking with you and sharing our experience of this journey.
Yes.
You know, so 60 years approximately ago, a Native American boy turned up on the planet, and he's travelled the path. And of all places, here he is in the highlands of Kalimantan with one of the most ancient peoples, the Dayak Kenya people. And there's Australian men, and there's New Zealand men, and there's Balinese men, and there's Indonesian men, and there's Englishmen. And here we are on this journey. What's it like finding yourself here?
I feel at home. I feel at home. I feel a beautiful sense of peace and centeredness here. Especially more directly, the spirit of the Dayak people really comes through the way that they, you know, this is a divine law, the law of hospitality.
Yeah,
it's so basic, you know, this love. So it just transcends language because we don't share language, you know. But the hospitality, just look at everybody is working in harmony.
Yes.
Is working in harmony. So the other night when I was laying there asleep and that rifle went off, boom, you know. So then I woke up and then
it was Peleus.
Yeah. So then a couple of minutes later, I looked outside. I looked outside there, and I could see Peleus and Raymond were out there gutting that deer. You know.
Yes.
I looked at them, and then I kind of dozed off, and then I think just a couple of minutes later, they had the fire going, and that deer was already cooking in the pot.
Just so much a part of their lives.
Yeah.
You know, the part of you that, I don't know whether that reminded you of your history or the time the American Indian men were hunting, and that moment was live for them as well.
Oh, yeah.
Did you notice the relationship between the histories?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what they always say is that, you know, you just always take care of your guests. You're a host, so you take care of your guests. And so then they always say that the more guests you can have, the bigger the blessing for you, because you know whenever we did anything when Peleus started out, and then this morning they always start with a prayer.
Yes.
They always start with a prayer. So then the more people who are participating in the prayer, the bigger the blessing.
Okay.
Because then they say, especially like the food and everything, so the energy that comes from this place, that's part of the prayer. So that the energy is going to go out. So it's going to go back to Brisbane, New Zealand, go back to North America.
Through each of us.
We take that prayer back.
A piece of it together.
And also just the experience of being here together with people from Bali, Dayak people, everybody, see?
You talked about a prayer this morning, before, just earlier on.
Yeah.
A song prayer.
Yeah.
Could you do that?
I'll do that prayer. And so this prayer is, it's a real traditional prayer, but I think it's very universal because to me, when I think of this prayer song, then I think of this from the Bible when Jesus says this prayer says, "Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven." So it's just like the prayer. The way I understand it is that asking that this earth become a mirror of the heavenly attributes, heavenly qualities. But of course, the place where those divine attributes are reflected is in the human heart. See, in the human heart. So I could feel that here. I could feel that here with
very strong energy.
Yeah, with the people here, and then you know the ancestors here who lived here, like you said, 1,500 people here, and the countless generations. The people. I was watching a show on TV about genome theory, and they say that people came through here 52,000 years ago.
Oh my!
When they settled Australia, but the populations were already moving through here 52,000 years ago. Then when you come up this trail, this real isolated place, you can see. Remember, just right over here, how deep that trail is?
Yes.
That wasn't a bulldozer that made it. That deep.
That was years.
That was thousands of years of people.
Of walking.
Yeah, thousands.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please.
And the song, it says, we are sending our voice. We are sending our voice. Hear us. And it says, here at this heavenly place, the heavenly place. We're at the heavenly place, you see. The heavenly place is really inside of here.
Yeah, our hearts.
It's right in here, yeah. But you see, being here, we're connecting and we're making this heavenly place more of a reality in our thoughts. We're always there, but we're just not aware of it. But now we're more aware. So here we are in this heavenly place, and we're asking that we may be restored to sacredness, restored to holiness. See, that's what that song is. So it's
Wakajaya, hey, che duelo, hey, Machbiati biwaya, Ognaya, Iwaya, che, Namahue, Iwaya, che, Wakajaya, hey, che duelo, hey, Machbiati biwaya, Ognaya, Iwaya, che, Namahue, Iwaya, che, Wakaja, che, duelo, hey, 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 how mitakiwasi. And they say mitakiwasi at the end. That means all my relations, all of my relations. But it's not talking about like brothers, or that kind of. It does include that, but it's referring to everything in creation. Just like I was saying, that we all share this world, this creation, everything in creation. That's what that is saying. It's an affirmation. You say that, and you're connecting with all creation as part of your prayer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
For me, listening with you, being here, being so blessed to sit here with you and share that prayer, I feel very moved. And I think a part of that feeling comes from the whole journey we've traveled together, all of us. To sit in this moment with you now and have you sing that. I know you well enough now to know that it's coming from your truth, it's coming from your heart. And what's it like though for you sitting in that song, sitting in that prayer?
I feel that prayer because this is the goal of our journey. The goal of our journey is to be restored to wholeness, which is what that song is about.
Back to long, Saan.
Yeah, and we're all on this journey. Every one of us, we're on this journey. Whether it's a mountaintop, whether it's to right here, whether it's to come beneath that tree of life, whatever it is. And to me, it's I see it in the sign right up there too. That sign.
Yeah, the symbol of the Dayak.
Yeah.
You see it everywhere.
Yeah, I see that everywhere. All
the tattoos and the buildings.
Entries like on that baby carriage, the baby carrier, that sign was on there. So it's just like it's like the point from which everything diffuses out. And we have a word for that in my language. They say, "O igaluwitaya." It means like the source. In other words, like the place from which all things originate,
emanate.
Everything goes out, disperses from, and then it also means the place that all things must go back to. See, so you can see it right there. How everything emanates. Like the source of light and heat, which here now, that's the sun, and we can see all of creation reaching up. See, everything, all the music, all the sound. You see, everything's so alive here. Nothing's dormant. Nothing's asleep. Everything is vibrating. All the fragrance, all the color. It's really an explosion of life, and it's all reaching up towards that source of light and heat. Design here, to me, it also represents the light of knowledge. And the warmth of love. It's not just it's not the earthly one, but it's divine knowledge.
And that's
divine
been
love.
handed down for thousands of years. That
symbolism. And that's what goes out, and that's what enables the human heart to grow, to blossom, to flourish.
And each culture has its symbolism, doesn't it?
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and we see this symbolism everywhere.
Yeah, it's so universal though that.
You know, when we get lost,
Yeah.
like each of us, as humans, travel on this path, like this boy that's a little Native American boy, and another one in similar age.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah.
I
Same
remember
age.
you're slightly older than me, Kevin.
Couple months, yeah.
Couple of months, but you look younger. The journey has obstacles for all of us,
Yeah.
and so on the way we get it's lost.
Yeah.
For you on the journey, like you're sitting here and you've been lost and you've been found and you've taken the wrong path,
Yeah.
you've found the path, you teach now, you teach wisdom, you work very, very diligently to bring that message through the metaphor of your extraordinary culture, the Native American culture. And I imagine that a lot of the message you bring comes from your own struggles.
Mm-hmm.
What was the hardest struggle for you in your life?
Hardest struggle for me?
Yeah, the part where you just felt lost.
Oh, I've had a lot of times like that. Yeah, just kind of down and out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel so down and out. But just no matter, just fall down. Just have to slowly pick myself back up again. Yeah, I've had so many experiences like that, as we all have.
Yeah.
But the only thing is just to keep making the effort. That's what I always say. Just keep making the effort to try. Just like this morning, we had a beautiful day, and that's what I told David. He was right beside me there, and he could see me struggling to get out of that little. I had that little mosquito net, you know.
Yes.
Yeah. And then so he gave me a light, and so I could see how to get out of there. And then I went back in, and I says, in the morning I'm going to come out of here as a butterfly. So,
Oh, yeah. It's like giving birth, metamorphosis.
The butterfly represents new life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard that this morning. Because when you wake up in the morning and you bring your Kevinness, we've befriended you as like you say, brown bear or
Hoots.
Yeah,
that's
the
a blanket.
bear. Yeah. But the bear in you helped you find your way in the times of darkness. Like in my times of darkness in my life, there was something that shone a light, and sometimes it seemed like it wasn't on. And yet it was always, something's not right here, that's okay, I can keep moving, or I'm okay, or it's okay even when it's not. Those places. And you've watched your culture and other cultures go through this, and you used the metaphor this morning so beautifully around the mountain. Could you describe that, climbing the mountain and getting to that particular point we talked of over breakfast this morning?
Oh yeah, well, like I was saying, my mother, when she was a child, learned sign language. And the reason why they use sign language is because all the languages are so different from each other. So when they're always traveling around, just meeting up with different language groups, they had to create, a universal language. So they created a language with the hands. And so one of the elders in the community when my mom was growing up taught the sign language. And she would, the way that she would drill the kids is to teach them different recitations. Like she would teach them Bible verses. So in this one, that 23rd Psalm, at the end of the 23rd Psalm, the part talking about the journey of life says the road of life, the way she would do it, my mom, she said, these roads, this is a sign for, road, these roads lead to a great lodge, where dwells the shepherd chief. After I die, I will be with him forever and ever. See?
Yeah.
And see now, the way you make the sign to journey or to walk or a road, you just go like this. You see, you go like this. But the way my mom learned it, it was like this. It was going up
a mountain.
Yeah. So then, even though she never explained it that way as a child, I always envisioned climbing a mountain. And then as I got older and went around, met people of all different backgrounds, I found that all peoples on the planet have a intrinsic or basic vision of themselves achieving a stage of fulfillment, reaching a higher level state of ascendancy or nobility, higher nobility as a people. A day when their dreams, their hopes, their prayers, their visions, their aspirations could be fulfilled. But see, I didn't know that at the time. But then when I traveled around, I realized that all peoples on the planet have the same basic vision. And so then I realized that this mountain that we're all climbing is one mountain, even though in the past, like, in the days of King David, that's 35 centuries ago, people were not aware of each other. Like people here maybe didn't know that there was people over in Australia or New Zealand or South America or Europe or Asia or Africa, all over. They're not aware. But now, all these thousands of years have elapsed. So now we've reached a stage in our collective ascension,
Yes.
our collective ascension of that one mountain. Now we can all see each other.
We're starting to, oh my gosh.
We can all see each other.
Yeah.
And so all over the world we can see this, and we can still see conflict and this xenophobia, or whatever they call it. People. But yet we're getting to the stage now where we're beginning to realize that we'll never achieve our goal. We'll never achieve the summit unless we recognize each other and then assist each other or empower each other.
And we cannot do it without each other.
We have
and
to,
there cannot be one missing. Each of us. Yes. Like the hoop dance demonstrates.
Everybody has to be involved.
Yes.
Everybody has to have a place in there, because we all have a gift to bring. We all have a gift, and that gift is from our ancestors.
Yes.
And they prayed that way. So it's our duty, really. It's our duty to represent them and to bring that now into it's a gift we have to bring in order to empower the world collectively to achieve the next stage.
When you see the condition in parts of the planet, or the condition of people, anything from marriages struggling, there's a high rate of divorce, from countries fighting, from racism, people frightened of each other, and scared to connect, scared to look. So the judgment comes in. What's the hardest thing for you to see in the human condition at the moment?
The hardest thing that I see is just people have a sense of dislocation. I'd say it's social dislocation, but really what it is spiritual dislocation.
Disconnected from self.
Yeah, disconnected from self, and that connection with reality.
Yeah.
Just like that design there, again, to center, to focus, to get to that place. And so this is the greatest struggle that I see people going through, and on individual level, of course, that's the basis, but also collectively. So really what needs to be achieved first above all is unity. Unity has to be achieved, yeah. So this is why when David called me about,
this journey.
About this
David
journey.
Metcalf,
Then when he began to, first of all, I read his emails, and then I saw Robbie, the video of Robbie.
Yes, from
Robbie was on there,
Yeah.
On there, David sent me that video of Robbie. Then I could see the passion, Robbie, and I don't think you were on there, but Robbie was on there.
Yeah.
And then I could see how much.
It was palpable.
Yeah.
Like passion was.
Yeah,
just
so much passion in
excited
there.
like boys.
So I thought, wow, I want to be part of this. Where these guys are going, I want to go there.
So you felt it rather than having information and detail. You just sensed what we were all excited about.
Yeah.
Where
were these guys? I want to go there too.
David gets very alive, as does Robbie. Like all of us get together. Like you were listening last night, perhaps, to the conversation going on, sitting out here late at night, and there was a fire crackling, and there was this dialogue amongst all the guys talking about stuff and the meaning and what they wanted the whole thing to mean, and how to communicate that through a documentary. And just watching that organic connection. You talk about the unity. It's been so demonstrated on this journey, hasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Like coming up, it was a pretty arduous journey yesterday.
Yeah.
There were times when we were slipping, or it was hard, or someone was tired.
Yeah.
And then there was that natural picking up someone else's bag and saying, "I'll carry it for you."
Oh yeah.
Take it, and then someone says, "Well, why don't we just share it? We'll share the bag around."
Yeah.
So Eric could have a rest,
Yeah.
And so, but that happens so naturally.
Yeah.
And the Dayak do it, and everything they do is to give.
Yeah.
So when you see that pain and that disconnection, that lack of unity happening now, I think everybody on the planet, no matter where they sit, is experiencing that in some way. It's not easy to sit in it, and we as brothers talk about it. I'm so blessed to sit with the Balinese brothers here, Eric and Robbie and the guys, and the Dayak and the Australian guys. They all agree. You know, there's guys here that have been at war. There's guys here that have been in the corporate world and experienced the disenfranchisement of all of us in some way, and yet we can walk up this mountain together and come into the river and the river journey and that metaphor together and somehow work together and just build this great. Do you feel? It sounds like a 70s statement, but do you feel the love? But the connectedness is just wonderful.
Oh yeah, it's great.
And this morning the prayer here, the Dayak men did a meditation to make sure everyone was safe on the journey to the burial grounds, and understood how sacred it was, and so for you, when you're part of that, and you're seeing it you come from the other side of the planet, so to speak. What's it like listening, sharing, even though the language we can't understand? You can feel it. How do you connect with other language and the way it's communicated through, for example, the Dayak?
Well, first of all, I really enjoy listening to especially I heard mostly Indonesian language.
Yes.
Yeah, because the minute I got on that plane over in Hong Kong, then the flight attendant was announcing everything in Indonesian. Oh, it sounds so sweet, just the flow of the language.
It's a lovely language, isn't it?
It sounds very beautiful,
Yes.
Sounds, just like very very beautiful, very melodic. It's just like, sounds like water flowing,
Doesn't it?
Yeah, it's really nice.
They have a peace about them, don't they? They have a stillness, especially up here.
Yeah.
When you witness, or you're traveling with these guys, and you see the Balinese men talking, or you might get a moment where you watch a Kiwi guy like David or myself talking with the Dayak or with you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you notice? What's it like for you to witness this actually coming true? And talking about that point on the mountain, like your grandmother.
Yeah, my mom.
Talked about, and you see it, and you're witnessing it. Everywhere you go, you're probably witnessing aspects of it.
Yeah.
And places where it's not happening.
Yeah.
What's it like for you in your heart when you're here witnessing that going on? And it's so easy.
Well, what I think about is how much in the past people struggled.
Yes.
Our ancestors really struggled, really suffered so much, and yet they were never able to really achieve, to realize or to witness that fulfillment, or I would say maybe to redeem their own suffering. But I always feel like today we're in a position where we can actually witness these things, these events occurring, and we, in a sense, through our own lives, then we can redeem their suffering. You know what I mean? And so the feeling that I get is a feeling of gratitude also.
Okay.
A lot of gratitude. And I couldn't help but feel that, just like coming up that river and seeing all the beauty. And I was also thinking about how in the world could people get up this river?
Yeah.
Get up to this spot.
It was impossible, wasn't it?
How people?
To the naked eye.
Yeah. How in the world could people have gotten to this spot on this planet
And carry everything up.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Kevin, for you, you talk about the suffering, and each of us has a part of that.
Yeah.
For our own cultures, the Lakota Sioux, the Sioux Indian. Is that how you say the Lakota?
Yeah. They're synonymous. Those two. Just like you're saying a New Zealander Kiwi.
Okay, it's the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you reflect on that journey that has been travelled by your forefathers and mothers, it's one unbelievable journey, isn't it? Like it's been some harsh, and I know many cultures on the planet would relate to having gone through that as an indigenous culture, in its own way. To reflect on being a part of that in your bloodline and travelling that journey? What's that like when you're in your deep self reflecting on that journey that your forefathers have travelled?
Well, there's a lot of sadness there because you think about all of the epidemics and all the suffering that they went through, but then I feel like we finally got to this place in time now, and so I always feel a sense of urgency, just to again to try and redeem all those things. And I always think of this elder. He introduced himself one time. He says. Mia chala ikchewi chasha wa unnaha yahani unchi na tunkashila ina na te matompe hemataha naha machbia maka yokogana hewa utana mia chala ikchewi chasha wa unnaha wa hunumpa. He says I'm just a common person. I sprang up even though I have a line from my ancestors, my grandparents and my parents, but I just appeared. I was born from this earth, and I have a place somewhere in between heaven and earth, and I'm just a human being. He said the only way I could say it, I'm a member of the human being tribe, because I always hear people say I'm a Lakota, I'm this, but I like that because what he's doing and what he did is that he identified himself as something that transcends the limitations of a ethnic or tribal identification,
and comes above separation.
Yeah, so that's what I like to do. I was like,
okay.
To say, hey, that's what I am. I'm just like everybody else.
Does that help you evolve from the pain of the journey? Is to get that we're one journey, we're one people.
Yeah, because otherwise, if you focus on that, then you're always you get into this whole thing. Like in the USA, I don't know about other places, but there's all this tension, all this dynamic because of history of genocide and slavery, and for what? It's just so people can gain ascendancy over natural resources, get that gold, get that timber, get those water rights, and for me, and so in that particular, I'll call it a drama, like a dramatizer, but in reality, we're all in that role. We're all victims,
and we're all slaves.
And we're all slaves.
Yes,
because But so what we have to do now, we have to realize that even though we see all these riches out here, abundant riches, I bet right here there's a cure for cancer right here, or whatever it is, because this forest has the greatest biodiversity on the planet, but yet it's a metaphor for the diversity within us. You see, so now in this new day, we all have heroic roles to play. See, there's no negative roles. We all have roles as a part of this process now of I would say like the efflorescence of the human spirit, and to use our own capacities to contribute to that, and also to enrich ourselves with our ancestral heritage, whatever that is. See,
I think it was yesterday or the day before, down by the river when we arrived, there was an opportunity. James Greenshield's Cheese, our Australian friend, had wanted to go hunting with Raymond, who's a great Dayak hunter.
Yeah. And
he was so excited, and it was being talked about. And Artie had said to him, who's our guide, do you want to go hunting with Raymond?
Yeah.
And James is very intuitive.
Yeah.
And he said, I'd love to. And he saw Raymond, somehow he saw that he was hesitating.
Oh, yeah.
But he couldn't speak his language, but something wasn't right.
Yeah,
and James said to Artie, could you ask Raymond what's wrong?
Yeah.
And Raymond had said, there's no point in hunting now. We hunted last night.
Oh, yeah.
We have our food.
Yeah.
Why would we go again to hunt when there's no point?
Yeah.
And so there was this wonderful moment of extraordinary ecology and respect for the forest. And you look at the Dayak who have been here for thousands of years, and the forest is relatively untouched. And they only take timber at a certain time, and they when they plant their crops, they have basically 10 plots. And you farm one a year. And that sort of ecology, you could see it in that moment. And James was so happy. He just saw his enormous respect for the Dayak awareness of how to work with what is all provided and not take too much. And is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah. There's so much of that. And on that particular point, I was saying that in English language we call this a wilderness, right?
Yeah.
Wilderness. But for somebody who lives here, it's not wilderness.
No.
It's very tame. You know,
Yeah.
everything can be identified.
It's home.
Yeah, it's home. So it's all in the view of the beholder, I guess. It's not wilderness.
It's home.
It's home. Yeah.
It's their place, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
You notice the joy and happiness in the Dayak men coming into here.
Oh yeah.
Or Peleus coming as a young boy.
Yeah.
Did that remind you, like if you look at Peleus in the river yesterday or walking into here, you see his joy like a young boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's not old, but he's like us, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And his playfulness, jumping in the river like he was when
Yeah.
he was 15, the last time he was here.
Yeah.
What did that remind you of your boyhood?
Oh no! And from my boyhood, I have all these beautiful memories of doing the same thing.
Oh,
Yeah, like we go camping in the mountains, you know, in Montana, and we had this beautiful. There's a beautiful stream there. Of course, now the water's ice cold because it comes off the.
bit different than here.
Yeah, it comes right off the snow, you know. But still, you get in there on a hot day, and there's like moss, it's like a slide, zipping down that stream.
That's what you did as kids.
Yeah, I did stuff like that as kids. Yeah.
Yesterday you jumped in the rapids here.
Yeah, it was
We all saw Peleus.
Yeah.
And then there was this sort of, you could see the urge.
I wanted to do it, yeah.
You just suddenly had
then
to.
I thought, if I don't do this now, when am I going to get back over there? Yeah.
What was that like hopping? I mean, they were pretty savage rapids. I mean, it was pretty decent water movement.
Oh no, it felt good.
Just to jump in.
Yeah, just jump in there. Yeah.
I mean, eventually all of us suddenly had to go and
Had
do
to
it.
go
you
in
know.
there. Yeah.
When we were boys again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there was laughter and calling.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that reminded you of an earlier time.
Oh yeah. In my childhood, that's what I always loved to do is get in the water and swim and do stuff like that in the streams. Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
Well, I tell you what, it's been the most extraordinary thing to share this journey with you.
Oh, it's been good.
You're
Yeah.
an amazing man. Yeah.
It's been great. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.